Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today I'll be playing another premiere draft of the Innistrad Crimson Vow format, and we have quite the sweet pack to pick through today. Our rare is Hiveheart Shaman, a very solid green card. For 4 mana you're getting a 3/5, already a pretty great deal, but whenever it attacks you can grab a basic land that doesn't share a land type with a land you control and put it onto the battlefield, and for 6 mana you get to start making some tokens, a 1/1 with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is number of basic land types among lands you control. Even in a 2-color deck, this card is very solid. 6 mana, just spit out 2/2s whenever you've got nothing else to do, and if you're in like a 3 or more color deck, this will pull out a land when it attacks, as well as make those 3/3s. Hiveheart Shaman seems pretty good to me, probably the pick. There's a great uncommon for the blue-white Disturb deck, and some pretty solid commons in here as well. Mainly Abrade being absolutely fantastic. I think the best 2 cards in here are probably the Shaman and Abrade, with Brinecomer being a close third, but I'll go with the rare here. Try out the Hiveheart Shaman. See how well that plays out. So now for pack 1, pick 2, we do see a pretty good Simic card passed to us, the Vilespawn Spider. 2 mana for a 2/3 reach, already a good deal yet again. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you mill a card for 4 mana. You can tap it and sacrifice it to create a 1/1 insect for each creature card in your graveyard. So it definitely works for a self-mill deck, which is really what green-blue is trying to do generally. And yeah, just pretty solid card. Pretty happy to take it here. There's not much else going on in this pack. There are a couple pretty great commons. I think my favorite being Kindly Ancestor. This card just really slows down the aggressive decks. Just a lifelinker that can trade off into early game creatures pretty easily, as well as give something later game lifelink, which is pretty huge. Slapping lifelink onto a 3/3 flyer or a 5/5 on the ground, stuff like that. Just any random creature can be a massive swing. So I do really like that. Flame Breather's fun, and like blue-red essence. Siphon Essence is a solid counterspell for blue. But yeah, I'll take the Vilespawn Spider there, and here we get past another one, so we could just kind of commit ourselves to just green-blue self-mill at this point. I don't see a huge reason not to here, because there's, again, not much else going on in this pack. Catapult Fodder is a lot of fun, flinging some high-toughness stuff at your opponent. Fleeting Spirit's actually quite the nice uncommon, a 2 mana 3/1 that can protect itself by flickering out of existence for a little bit, and it can get first strike later in the game. Fleeting Spirit is actually pretty good, but since we already have one Vilespawn Spider, being able to pick up a second and really dive deep on that strategy, that just seems very good to me. Other notable commons, Gift of Fangs and Courier Bat, both good. Stitched Assist and Cruel Witness, not a bad pack, but I think Vilespawn Spider, probably the best card in it, and for colors we're already kind of trying to approach. So I do like Inspired Idea. This has 3 mana to draw 3 cards. However, your maximum hand size is reduced by 3 for the rest of the game. The best way to use this is later in the game. Once you've already dumped your hand out, then you're just spending 3 mana to draw 3, which is an excellent deal. Obviously, if you've already dumped your hand out, you don't really care that your maximum hand size is reduced, because you'll still have a maximum hand size of 4 after casting this without the cleave. And occasionally, maybe you still have a bunch of cards in hand, but you also have 5 mana to play around with. Then you could just draw 3 cards and not worry about the hand size reduction, but just 3 mana, draw 3, reduce your hand size, already pretty great. So I'm going to take that here over Wolf Strike. I don't know if that's super correct. Wolf Strike is great removal in green, and green doesn't have a lot of good removal, but Inspired Idea is just such a good deal for that draw spell. I'm just going to take that here. So nothing in green or blue in this pack. A ton of red cards, although they are mostly pretty filler. All of these commons here are very filler in my opinion. Yeah, I think the best few cards in this pack are Vampire's Vengeance as an instant speed little miniature board wipe against non-vampires. Pointed Discussion is quite the good draw spell in black. Draw 2.5 cards because you're drawing 2 and getting a blood token that you can then filter a 3rd card away to draw another card. And then like Griff Rider or Erstwald Shield Basher, these are both fine, both pretty comparable. I think I'm just going to take Vampire's Vengeance. I think that's probably the most powerful of all of them, and I do really like the Vampire's Vengeance. I've particularly liked it in like the blue-red spells sort of decks, so not super likely to end up that route because we're so heavily into green-blue, but Not a single one of the cards in that pack was green-blue anyway, so I'll just take the best one. So best card here is probably Sigarda's Imprisonment, but Hookhand Mariner is not that far behind. A 4-mana 4/4 that is often better than that. During the night, it's a 4-mana 6/4 that's hard to block. Just a really good deal. So I think I'm just going to take Hookhand Mariner here, even though there is Sigarda's Imprisonment in the pack. Oh, wow. Alright, well, if we took Sigarda's Imprisonment, I guess we would push into blue-white here, because it looks like even more white getting past super late, and again, no green or blue, really. Yeah, Sigarda's Imprisonment last pick could have been a pretty good call, but at this point we can still take probably Drogskull Infantry. I don't think Dorothy's actually that great. Really want a lot of flying creatures to disturb her Retribution onto for her to be good. Creatures that can repeatedly get in. I suppose we already have like inspired ideas, so if we do get pushed into white, it'll probably be white-blue. So we'll take Dorothy there. And now, Apprentice Sharpshooter's solid. There are a lot of good flying creatures in the format, and being able to block them is quite helpful, and this potentially gets even bigger throughout the game. Anytime you're attacking in with it. It's not very hard to train, being only a 1-power creature. Yeah, not a bad card on color here. We could take Resistance Squad again just because white seems so open, but Apprentice Sharpshooter is a super solid pickup for this late. And this whole pack is basically garbage. White has seemed to be the most open color, so we'll take the filler white card over any other color's filler card. Now we will take Toxic Scorpion or Siphon Essence, actually both being pretty good here. Nice early game blocker that trades into anything, or counterspell that counters any bombs and stuff. Just important to have that kind of interaction. This is definitely better in like blue-red, blue-black than blue-green, because blue-green we're going to be tapping out a lot of the time. I think I'll take Toxic Scorpion for that reason, hopefully getting like Wolf Strikes as our removal in this color pair. But I guess we'll see. And now we're just taking a bunch of nonsense white cards that we're not going to play. I don't believe we'll be playing a mulch either. Ooh, wow. So pack 2, pick 1, we see Jacob Hawken Inspector. 2 mana for a 0/2, tap it to draw a card, then exile a card from your hand face down. Already a great card. That's just a merfolk looter. And then you can look at the card as long as it remains exiled, and if you pay 6 mana, you flip Jacob Hawken. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library face down. You can look at it for as long as it remains exiled, and during each of your turns, you get to cast, play a land, or cast a spell from among the exiled cards for free. So you just start casting everything that you set aside with Jacob in the first place, plus more cards off the top of your library. Super, super fantastic card. Easily the pick here, even though there are other great cards like Whispering Wizard. This is mythic rare power level here, Jacob Hawken. Gonna be a fun card to play around with. And we actually do have a human or two now that we've taken Jacob. Yeah, we have 4 humans, so Hamlet Vanguard might not be the worst. 3 mana for a 1/1, however, it enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it for each other non-token human creature you control. So, in in blue-green, it'll be a little more difficult to get more humans. But yeah, any werewolves we get are going to be humans. These sharpshooters are humans. The shaman is a human. Definitely draft around the Vanguard here without too much difficulty. There's also just a great draw spell, Thirst for Discovery, and draw spells get better the more bombs you have in your deck, Jacob Hawken certainly being a bomb. So I could see Thirst for Discovery here, maybe even Lantern Bearer. But I think I kind of like going after some tribal here, going for kind of a funky deck, human, tribal, and blue-green. That being said, I will take the Wolf Strike here. I definitely want to make sure I have some removal, and with Toxic Scorpions in the deck, if we can pick up a few more, this should consistently kill pretty much anything on our opponent's board, so Wolf Strike is fantastic. Definitely like it over the second Hookhand Mariner. Maybe Scattered Thoughts would be a bit better. Again, just digging through your library becomes dramatically more powerful the more powerful the cards in your deck are. So now we have, a bomb and a half. We have Jacob Hawken and a Hiveheart Shaman to kind of dig towards. But I think I'd rather have more interaction first before I start delving too deep into kind of just focusing hard on my own game plan. Alright, so this pack's great. Lantern Bearer, Flourishing Hunter, and Toxic Scorpion. Toxic Scorpions do tend to go around a little bit, and the packs go a little bit late. Flourishing Hunters are a really, really nice card at the top end of the curve. Probably the best 6-drop we could really pick up at common or uncommon in our color pair. So I think we just take Flourishing Hunter. It's just less replaceable in my opinion. Just a card that has high enough power and toughness to close out the game while also giving you a nice amount of life when it hits the board, helping sort of stabilize you. So I do like that card a lot. I'll take that there. And here I think I like Dormant Grove. Card is just very enjoyable. It's not super hard to flip this into a 3/6 vigilance in the color pair, and even if you don't, getting a +1/+1 counter each combat's pretty good. I do like the Dormant Grove. It's between that and like a Swarback Wolf. So we're not really taking it over anything much. We would prefer the 2-mana 2/2 human at common for our 2-drop cards, simply because we have that Hamlet Vanguard. So I don't think we need to take the 2-mana 2/4 Wolf super highly. So Syncopate or Siphon Essence, 2 counter spells to just kind of stop our opponent from playing a bomb. I don't know which is better. Siphon Essence can hit most bombs. There are some that it can't hit that Syncopate might be better against, but getting the blood token from Siphon Essence is really nice. I mean, they're both solid in this format. I think I'm actually going to go with Syncopate, just to disagree with Magic Arena's auto-suggestion. Alright, Retrieve is going to be awesome in this deck with double Vile Spawn Spider milling us. Retrieve just gives us a very nice draw spell to play like midway through the game. And there we go, another Toxic Scorpion to work with our Wolf Strike. Absolutely take it. Massive Might is a pretty nice combat trick, so that wouldn't be a bad pickup either, but I like having a lot of Toxic Scorpions with my Wolf Strikes. I like Rural Recruit here since it is a human. It's also a pretty good deal just by itself. A 1/1 and a 3/1, and the 1/1 has training. Not bad at all. Cradle of Safety, Chill of the Grave, even Lantern of the Lost. These are all playable cards, but I think I like Rural Recruit best here. Probably not playing Chill of the Grave in this color pair, but it's possible. We're also so heavy into green here, we're basically just a blue splash, which is kind of wild. Alright, Scattered Thoughts this late, don't mind if I do. I'll absolutely take that. Very nice draw spell. And let's see what we get in pack 3 now. Volatile Arsonist, a very, very powerful red bomb rare here. There's nothing in green. In blue, there's just like Cruel Witness. We're probably not playing Volatile Arsonist, but it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that we end up green-red werewolves, even this late in pack 3, just because of how much green we have in here. We're cutting 6 cards out of the deck if we move into red instead. And I think Volatile Arsonist is actually just more powerful than Jacob Hawken, probably. Yeah, 5 mana 4/4 Menace and Haste. It doesn't need any other text to be absolutely absurd. You know, that card's just absolutely ridiculous. Alright, and here's another absolutely ridiculous card. Ulvenwalkd Oddity, 4 mana for a 4/4 Trample Haste. For 7 mana, transform it into an 8/8 Trample Haste and give your whole field +1/+1 Trample and Haste. Pretty ridiculous card, going to be very hard to take anything else over that, so we'll take Ulvenwalkd Oddity there. Now what? Nothing in green. We could, in blue, take Scattered Thoughts, Binding Geist, Cobbled Lancer. We could, in red, take Runebound Wolf. You know, I like the idea of being green-blue, not just for like the Vile Spawn Spiders, but also for potentially getting a bunch of Scattered Thoughts now, where we're really just digging for our bomb stuff like Jacob and the Oddity. So I kind of just like taking Scattered Thoughts, maybe sticking there. But again, Scattered Thoughts went so late, we can probably just take Runebound Wolf and wheel that Scattered Thoughts. And then we still have that possibility of just being green-red if that just pans out to be super open here. Alright, this is a pretty easy Flourishing Hunter, this pack. I guess we could take Fear of Death because we are pretty low on removal. Even though it is mediocre removal, it still keeps us alive, which is fine. I think I'm taking the Hunter. Probably Pack Song Pup here, right? How many wolves and werewolves do we have? 3 wolves, 2 werewolves. Not a ton. But you only need 1 on the board alongside this for this to be a pretty ridiculous card. Gets a +1/+1 counter every combat step as long as you have another wolf or werewolf. I think we take this, and now we're definitely taking the green wolf/werewolf cards super highly, but we just haven't seen a lot of them. Could take Foreboding Statue and maybe go for the 3 colors, splash in a bunch of bombs kind of deck. Just splash in the Arsonist. It's double red, so it's a bit of a hard sell, but I could see Foreboding Statue, even if we're just 2 colors, to ramp into our Flourishing Hunters and our 4-drops like the Oddities. And the only other card here is really another Scattered Thoughts, and I think we're trying to wheel those based on how last pack went. I don't think that I'll be playing any of these cards, but I suppose Massive Might would be the most likely. Definitely not playing any of these cards. We're just not an exploit deck to make use of the egg as much as I love it. In the exploit decks, we're just not that deck. Yeah, looks like we're probably just ending up green-blue here. Take a Crawling Infestation now for the self-mill theme. Whenever we're milling creatures, we're getting 1/1 insects. We do have to worry about milling ourselves, but with Crawling Infestation, at least we get to choose to stop milling ourselves at some point. Unlike the Vile Spawn Spiders, we'll have to sacrifice those to stop milling ourselves. Alright, Diver Scab, super solid here. This looks like it's just going to end up being a very good blue-green deck, and we are going to wheel these Scattered Thoughts like I imagined we would, at least one of them. And Witness the Future actually probably making the cut in this deck, because I could absolutely see myself getting to a point where I've milled myself too much to where I'll probably lose the game if I don't shuffle some cards back, and Witness the Future really helps you win those kinds of games, because sure, like theoretically, if you're only shuffling 4 cards back, if you're down to 1 or 2 cards in your library, what are you going to do? You're still just going to lose, right? But with Witness the Future, you're shuffling the 4 best cards of your graveyard back into your library, so when you hit that point in the game where you're like out of cards in your deck, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to lose now. If you draw into a Witness the Future, and all of a sudden you're shuffling back 2 Flourishing Hunters, an Ulvenwalkd Oddity, and like, I don't know, a 4/4 or something, all of a sudden you could very much find a way to close out the game in those next 4 turns if you're shuffling creatures that beefy back into your deck. So I actually do like Witness the Future in this kind of deck. Most decks it's not super good in, but this one, 3 cards that are milling ourselves every turn, the Vile Spawn Spiders and the Crawling Infestation, you know, might as well try it out here. So he was 17 creatures, 10 non-creatures, probably cutting a lot of non-creature stuff here then. Although our non-creature stuff is so spicy, maybe Syncopate and Massive Might. Then we have very low interaction, though. Only really Wolf Strike for stopping our opponent's plan. We'd need to cut 2 more cards after those as well. I suppose with the relative size of our creatures, we're not going to find a lot of times to be able to just hold up a Syncopate anyway, so I could definitely see that as the cut there. Yeah, 2 more cards to cut. Retrieve fills a somewhat similar role to Witness the Future, where it's really good for us later in the game. And I almost feel like with double Scattered Thoughts, we don't really need the Inspired Idea as well. Although we don't get that big of a benefit off of the fact that the Scattered Thoughts are instant speed, so we could also just cut 1 Scattered Thoughts and still have 3 draw spells in here. A Scattered Thoughts, an Inspired Idea, and a Witness the Future. Witness the Future only draws us 1 card, but it draws us the best card out of our top 4. I guess we have 4 draw spells in here if you count Retrieve as well. We'll cut 1 Scattered Thoughts, and then we need to cut 1 more card out of this deck. I really don't want to cut the Retrieve. I feel like we have some good stuff to pick up out of the grave that will probably get killed. Like Ulvenwalkd Oddity and just Flourishing Hunters, even just 6/6s for 6. late in the game, that's going to be a big deal, bringing those back. Maybe we do just cut a creature here at this point. One of these 4-drops, because we have a lot of them. We actually only have 3 wolves and 1 werewolf now that we cut the Volatile Arsonist, so we're actually probably just cutting Packsong Pup. It's actually not really going off, because one of the 3 wolves is itself, so there's only 3 other creatures in our deck that trigger it, so we can cut that, and then we have 40 cards and call it a day. Sure. And we do have like 7 humans, right? Yeah, 7 humans. Hopefully enough for Hamlet Vanguard. Like, ideally, we only really need 1 out when we cast the Vanguard for it to be good, but it is a 3-drop. So it's a 3-drop that we want to have another human out by the time we play it, which means ideally we'd have all of our 2-mana cards be humans, but we only have 1 human at 2 mana. Hamlet Vanguard is not actually looking that good in this deck either. But at the same time, the only creature we can really replace it with is a Packsong Pup or a Biolume, both of which I think are worse. But we could cut that and then throw Scattered Thoughts back in and just have a little bit of a low creature count here. Which actually, I'm pretty down for. We'll get rid of the Hamlet Vanguard and throw back a Scattered Thoughts or Syncopate. I think I'll grab another Scattered Thoughts here. Yep. This is very much just like an interacting is for fools kind of deck where we have 1 piece of interaction for messing with our opponent's game plan. Everything else is just us just playing solitaire over here. Just trying to go off with our bombs, draw into the bombs, bring them back, play them multiple times, go off with the graveyard shenanigans. So here we are with the solitaire deck, and we'll see how well it does. I am very, very hesitant to play this kind of deck in this format because of how powerful the bombs can be. But when we have the powerful bombs on our side, like Jacob Hawken and the Ulvenwalkd monstrosity, then maybe it'll work out. We'll have to see. So we're just going to sit here and kind of goldfish, play our own game plan, and hope to get things rolling before our opponent does much. So here we are now in game 1. Little bit of a risky keep. We are only playing a Vile Spawn Spider in this hand. We do need to draw more lands to get things really going. But if we draw 1 more land with Vile Spawn Spider milling us and Retrieve being able to pick a permanent back from our graveyard to hand, our Retrieve will draw us the 4th land if we hit a 3rd. So here is the 3rd land. And now I think we're just casting Sharpshooter, because retrieving right now would just bring back a Crawling Infestation. We really want this Retrieve to grab us a land with the mana costs in our hand where we need a 4th mana pretty badly and a 6th as well. So we are playing against black-white from our opponent. No cards played here by turn 3. We mill a Scattered Thoughts and draw the 4th land. Alright, well, I'll take it. Probably just casting Hiveheart Shaman here. Could play Dormant Grove pre-combat, get the +1/+1 counter and attack in for extra damage here, but I think I'm just casting Hiveheart Shaman, so we can do that post-combat. So the Apprentice Sharpshooter, again, one of the easiest cards to train because it only has 1 power. So it will be attacking as a 2/5 this turn thanks to the Vile Spawn Spider, and here's a Hiveheart Shaman as well. 3 decently beefy creatures on this board, a 2/3, a 2/5, and a 3/5 now. Could play our Dormant Grove and flip it immediately if we put a counter onto the Sharpshooter or the Shaman. Actually does seem pretty spicy to me because then all our creatures will be attacking with Vigilance. Not that we'll really need Vigilance here. Our opponent has not cast a single spell yet, so we don't really need blockers. So turn 4, still just holding all their mana up. I would assume at this point it's either a Bleed try or they're just going to lose because they can't cast anything. So what is our best play against a Bleed try? Probably Dormant Grove, throw a counter onto the Spider. And then we attack all, make the Sharpshooter a 3/6, because then they just bleed dry the Hiveheart Shaman. Like, alternatively, we could Dormant Grove, put a counter on the Hiveheart Shaman, immediately flip the Grove, but then they kill the Grove or the Shaman, which is our biggest card. So I think we go Dormant Grove pre-combat, buff the Spider, and now, no matter what they bleed dry, Sharpshooter still gets trained. And we're hitting for the same amount of damage either way. And then the Dormant Grove just flips next turn, guaranteed. And we're attacking with it as a 3/6 that turn. It's not like it has haste. Ooh, Parasitic Grasp. Well, misread the situation. No bleed dry. A Parasitic Grasp, which means that we played actually the worst card we could have played there. Or played the counter on the worst card we could have. Because it was the 3 damage spell and not the -13/-13. Still fine with that, still fine with having played around the bleed dry there. Because the Parasitic Grasp is uncommon, which means it's, I think, like less than half as likely for them to have than a bleed dry would have been. So we played against the more likely card, got punished for it, but it certainly happens. So, could play Flourishing Hunter pre-combat, is there any reason? No, we just Grove up the Shaman, attack with both, Sharpshooter gets trained, yeah, there's no reason to pre-combat here, so. I don't really think there's a reason to do it post-combat either, but just might as well. I just keep shuffling my deck with Hiveheart Shaman for fun. Because I can, I guess. I would be mildly worried about overextending into a Wrath if I didn't have Retrieve in hand, but because I have Retrieve, I'm just gonna flood this board so that they can't survive with like a bleed dry or two. And there's the concession from our opponent. They just had too slow of a start to survive that one, so that will be 1-0 for our Solitaire deck. Which played out pretty much how I assumed. We were kind of just doing our own thing and hoping we didn't really need to hinder our opponent's game plan, and luckily for us, due to some stumbles in the early game, we didn't need to there. So round 2 now, we have Jacob Hawken. I'm never going to say that right. We also have Vile Spawn Spider turn 2 though, which I'll probably play first, especially with the 4th man in hand. If I really needed to draw into something specific, I'd play Jacob first, but we have our game plan set up for the next few turns. Ooh, and with Crawling Infestation as well, we're actually just going to play that turn 3 instead of Jacob. Unfortunately, Crawling Infestation only triggers once per turn, so if we mill something with the Spider, we'll probably just not want to mill with Crawling Infestation. Hopefully it puts them onto the stack in that order. I'm not sure how to go into Arena and choose the order well. Well, if our opponent's going aggressive here, we know that we have the late game on lock. We have a 3/5 turn 4. We have Jacob Hawken flipping into a ridiculous bomb. I think we just want to survive the early game here. Let's take this trade. And soak up 3 of that 4 damage. I'd rather play the Crawling Infestation than the Jacob here. Because I am not going to want to chump block with Jacob, and I'm not going to want Jacob to get killed by an Abrade or the Flame Blessed Bolt or anything like that. Alright, so we mill a creature, we get a 1/1. Now we have a 3/5 as well. We can play Jacob next turn, and then flip it the turn after that. We'll take Visionary from our opponent. And Spore Crawlers. How does this work? At the beginning of your upkeep is when it happens. Okay. Another creature milled is another insect for us. Getting all the blockers that we can. Now we play a Foreboding Statue and a Jacob. They only have 1 card in their hand. They haven't used any removal yet. So they might just kill Jacob here, but if they don't, I'm feeling pretty good here. And even if they kill Jacob, then we just start using Hiveheart Shaman's ability and make a bunch of 3/3s. Just 1 per turn, but still. No! We'll take Visionary. Lets them see the top card of their library, cast it this turn if they want, immediately flips into an Abrade. That is brutal. I would have much rather they just had Abrade in hand, because that makes me feel terrible. Seeing the Abrade get exiled off the Visionary, just the exact card off the top there. It would reveal. It would reveal. If it was like exiled face down and then I didn't know, they like just cast an Abrade there and I didn't pay attention, I wouldn't have been so sad, but that is very sad. Yeah, maybe they're trying to kill Hiveheart Shaman here with this attack. Oh, they can kill my insects. I'll let them draw a card here. And I guess they could also braid an insect to keep their Spore Crawler alive, but I highly doubt that's what they're trying to do here. Probably trying to kill the Shaman. There's the Abrade on Jacob Hawken. Sad day for our Inspector. Still want to mill at this point. Ooh, milled the Ulvenwalkd oddity, but we haven't milled our Retrieve or anything like that. So we could draw into it. I could even Scattered Thoughts right now, because it is 3 mana. So if I hit it, I would just immediately do it. I feel like that's better than just playing 1/3/3. Digging for Witness the Future or Retrieve here. Witness the Future. Dormant Grove's pretty big, but so is Vilespawn Spider. Which is better? Maybe even Diver Scab is good here. Yeah, we just hit 4 really good cards off the top. I did this main phase so that I could retrieve this turn if I hit it, but I suppose if we did it in our opponent's turn, we could have gotten 1 more insect. Oh no, Infestation only triggers during your turn anyway, so I guess it wouldn't matter. I think I like Dormant Grove. Put Jacob the Spiders and the Ulvenwalkd back in the deck. So it is a little weird to just slam Witness the Future when I still have 17 cards in the deck, but I've milled so many sweet ones, I think it's still worth it. Something like that, probably. Pick up a Retrieve. Pick up a Retrieve after I shuffled the good stuff back in. That's how we go. We've got heavy combos today. I definitely know how to play the blue-green self-mill decks. Well, now that we have Retrieve in hand, I'm just slamming the mill 2 every turn with Crawling Infestation again. Crawling Infestation has worked out fine here. The fact that it mills 2 feels so rough to me. It feels pretty risky. This one does give us the choice, though. I'm just trying to decide if with double Vilespawn Spider, if we even want the infestations. It's always just a frightening proposition to keep milling yourselves like that. It feels like it's always right to do so, because like when we have Retrieve in hand, like it's definitely still right here. Draw into that Ulvenwalkd oddity. Very nice. We have 8 mana here. We can play the oddity and the Dormant Grove. Flip the oddity next turn. Flip the Grove this turn if we want to, or we could just make our stuff bigger. I think I'd rather have more of my field get bigger than immediately flip the Grove to be a 3/6, because I can flip it next turn. just on command. So I'll just get more counters out of it in the grand scheme of things this way. Weaver of Blossoms from our opponents. Runebound Wolf. Start tapping that Runebound Wolf, doing quite a bit of damage there if we don't start putting the pressure on our opponent. But with Oddity flipped, giving our whole field +1/+1 trample haste, that is going to be quite a bit of pressure. And then we're going to have our whole field getting Vigilance from Dormant Grove as well. And we're going to gain a bunch of life from Flourishing Hunter soon enough to mitigate the Runebound Wolf damage. We're definitely going to tap the Foreboding Statue so that it flips in the end step. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 power to block with. They can definitely kill the Behemoth here on blocks. We don't have particularly great attacks here, do we? We will soon enough. Let's flip our Grove. I mean, Retrieve in hand. Retrieve in hand. We just slam, right? Just come on and slam. Everything's got Vigilance too. Yeah, come on and slam. See what happens here. They can certainly make some good blocks, but we'll still have some stuff left behind and we can pick the rest up. They kill Behemoth, they make all of our other stuff one less toughness than it looks like, which means that they can kill Behemoth and something else. Probably. If they block the Grove Strider with 6 power. Should be the rest of their creatures here. I think I want to kill the Child of the Pack more than anything else here. Just stop them from getting more blockers. What is this on? Is this the blocks on the Behemoth? Oh yeah, Child of the Pack's blocking the 2/2, so I can't kill Child of the Pack. Alright, so... yep, that's 8. So we just kill it all. They're down to 7 here. Flip our statue. Oh, Packmate does flip here, which means they don't make any wolf tokens if they want them, but they do buff their power. So we have 8 mana. If we draw another land, we get 9 mana, which means we cast Hunter and retrieve the Oddity. I guess Retrieve can just pick up a land and that'll be the 9th mana. Yep, Retrieve, pick up Ulvenwalkd Oddity and a land here. Alright, Flourishing Hunter's pretty big. Gain them back up to 12 life here. Down to 12 cards in the library. Probably going to stop using Infestation now. We do hit Jacob, which is wonderful. Could even play Jacob and Oddity here. Yeah, flip Oddity next turn is probably bigger than Flourishing Hunter this turn. Don't think we attack in here, but we did double spell to flip that Packmate. It's actually mildly an issue, because now if they didn't draw a creature, they can still play one, but only 6 mana from them. So it's just 1/2/2 from the Child of the Pack, so that's not actually that bad. Alright, we're no longer going to mill ourselves anymore. Alright, so Jacob Hawken does stuff in our upkeep. We have 10 cards left, so I don't even know if I really want to do that stuff. I think I just flipped the Oddity for sure. And then we just don't have the mana up to play around with that kind of stuff anymore. Okay. And we're again just going to start whittling down their field by attacking with a bunch of nonsense. Yep. Just get on in there. Math is for blockers. My bad. Alright, kill our insect. They're going to kill our Behemoth with a double block here. We kill Hunter and Wolf there. They're taking 12 on board, so they can't actually block this way. Actually taking 14 because of the trample. Yeah, our whole board has trample. That is ridiculous. Ulvenwalkd Behemoth is just one heck of a card. Alright, so taking 5, 6, 7, plus 5. They're taking 12 again still because of trample. So they have to move one of the 2/3s over to stop 3 damage instead of 2, and they take 11. Alright, well, yeah, this is dead on board, I think. Witch's Web to win that fight. Alright. No longer dead on board. They go to 2 life now. I think we're still good. They have 4 blockers. We have 4 attackers. I guess, no, they could absolutely live here. It's going to be really hard, though, with them at 2 life. Any turn that we don't draw a creature, we just get to spit one out with Hiveheart Shaman instead. So they're going to need to be able to stop a creature every turn. Scattered Thoughts is the draw. I don't really want to mill myself 4 here. I'm getting maybe a little too cautious against that kind of stuff. I'm just going to play a 6/6. Nine cards in library. Maybe we Scattered Thoughts in the end step here. Looking for Wolf Bite for just immediate lethal next turn. Wolf Strike, not Wolf Bite. You know, if they mill me out, they got me. Let's get that Wolf Strike. Alright, we did not get that Wolf Strike. But Vile Spawn Spider is super lethal next turn. Although I suppose it's does mill me 1 more card, which is kind of threatening. 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers. One of these gets in for 1 damage. The rest has to like trade off. Trump block here. Probably wait a turn, right? Like if we attack with all this, what are they killing? 7/6 on a 3/6. They only have 1 card that can kill a 6/6, and we're attacking with 2/6, attacking with 4 6-power creatures. Yeah, no, this is definitely the attack. We're attacking with 4 6-power creatures. They can only kill one of those 4. They have to block an individual creature with everything they block with. So they're only killing one creature here. Right. The 7/6 kills are 3/6 or our 4/6. Everything else is they either just slap off each other or it's just a chump block. So we're going to have the Packmate bounce off the Grove Strider. So I actually don't want to play the Vile Spawn Spider anymore, because I would be flipping the Packmate, which gives them another blocker if they spend 4. I want to do everything I can to mitigate the amount of blockers they have, just lessen that. Make sure it's a small number. Oh, and the Infestation does trigger. Just pass turn. Super wide board. Alright, there is the concession. So, that was wild. We got to play our ridiculous bombs multiple times. My brain is too dead lately to really get into that massive combat math like that, so I am certain we did not do the best attacks or blocks in multiple positions there, but we just had such a good position from our oddities and our recursion to be able to redo them. That still works out in the end, and that will lead us to 2-0 as we head into round 3. Quite the start that we've got here with the Simic Solitaire deck. So if we're trying to think of like just gameplay takeaways out of that to try to learn from, I mean, the main one is just draw your ridiculous bombs, recast them, but another one is that the Crawling Infestation, important to remember that when we're just trading off creatures, it'll still trigger. So if we're in a position where we can pretty much guarantee that our creatures are going to trade off during our combat, then sometimes we can just be like, I'm not going to mill myself because I'm just going to trade my 2/2 into your 2/2 off this attack. So we can keep that in mind for the future. I'll definitely keep this hand. Turn 2 Death Toucher, Retrieve ready for the future, and a Scattered Thoughts to start digging for our bombs. Looks like exactly what this deck is looking to do. Could even end up casting this Retrieve early just to bring back the Toxic Scorpion and get another block with it. Probably mill a land with the Scattered Thoughts. Pick that up with the Retrieve. Well, now I think we're playing Jacob. And if this dies to an Abrade, we can bring it back with Retrieve. If it dies to Flame Blessed Bolt, we're going to cry, but Flame Blessed Bolt can kill at any point in this game. We could choose just not to cast Jacob and hope that eventually they choose to bolt the Toxic Scorpion if they have a bolt. If we want to play hard around it, but the only reason that we have to consider them having Flame Blessed Bolt is just the fact that they're red. So, with no really obvious indicators that they definitely have Bolt, I think I'm still going to run out Hawken. If they have like a Braid or Wolf Strike or anything like that, it'll be fine. And they're always at risk of having a Flame Blessed Bolt. Or just drawing it off the top later. Alright, so there's our Wolf Strike. Scattered Thoughts here, and we can use Jacob's ability as well if we wish. I think we're just doing that during their end step. Hold our Wolf Strike mana up. We can Wolf Strike with Toxic Scorpion out to kill anything. Totally forgot that their mana dork is a werewolf. So they are going to get extra mana here. They could play a 7 mana card if they want. That could have been a reason to maybe main phase a Scattered Thoughts. I don't think we would have went for a Wolf Strike there, but I could have seen main phasing Scattered Thoughts if we were convinced we're going to be casting that here, just to keep them off 7 mana this turn. So heading in with that Lightning Wolf with the first strike mana to go ahead and hit us for 4. I think I will go ahead and Wolf Strike that away. I guess the problem is they have 5 mana up for something else. 5 mana, how likely is it to be scarier than a 4 power First Striker? Not massively, and if it is, it probably doesn't have First Strike, so it probably just trades for Toxic Scorpion anyway. Right? Like, they play a scarier card, it's probably scarier because it's a 6/6 or 7/6 trample or anything like that, and we can just kill that with the Scorpion itself. We can just actually block. Alright, Hook Hand Mariner, however, we can't. We need to cast 2 spells in 1 turn to be able to block that, because it does have the ability to be unblocked by creatures of power 2 or less. Alright, so let's draw a discard here. There's the 6th mana we really want. I think we can get rid of a Scattered Thoughts, and then we can just cast it for free off Jacob later. If we do end up flipping Jacob, we do really want the 6 mana here. So I'm going to get rid of 1 Scattered Thoughts. So we're not exactly going to play anything that can block Rip Hook Raider. We're not exactly going to be able to double spell here, even if we hit a non-land card off Scattered Thoughts. We could retrieve nothing. So we're not going to retrieve. There's nothing that we can retrieve. So it's just Sharpshooter or Scattered Thoughts. Probably Scattered Thoughts then. And I'm still going to hold the Scorpion back to go ahead and block the Blossom-clad Werewolf. Seven mana for our opponent, 4 cards in hand. I'd be surprised if they just passed the turn here, but we'll see. They are in main phase 2 now that they've hit us for 6. Brambleworm is the play. 7/6 reach, trample, gain a bunch of life. Not worried about the life gain. I am worried about the trample. Scorpion can block that. We don't have any counter spells to draw into, but we can put the Fear of God on our opponent. Ulvenwalkd Oddity, Flourishing Hunter, both pretty great here. Probably the best 2 cards to pick over the Infestation and the Mariner. We'll take them here. I believe we're just going to be casting a Flourishing Hunter. Probably use Jacob Hawken again, maybe put Retrieve underneath if we hit a non-land. Diver Scab is the hit. That's not bad at all. I think we're putting Retrieve under. Because we might want to cast Diver Scab here. I'm not certain. Probably not. We do have 7 mana to double spell next turn, play Oddity and Sharpshooter, which is nice. I think I'm just casting Flourishing Hunter to stop as much of this Brambleworm damage as possible. And we need to get into a position where we're not just going to take a million if I flip Jacob. So we're just going to keep casting what we have in hand, using Jacob Hawken as a Merfolk Looter rather than the flip side. Alright, well I guess show me the combat trick, or we're clearing the board and giving us time to flip Jacob. Well, there's the combat trick. First strike 2 will really get us. Defeat the Scorpion, deal 9. Absolutely massive. Hungry Ridge Wolf is the play. Are we going to sacrifice Jacob Hawken to Diver Scab? It is a distinct possibility. If we spend 6 to flip Jacob, we're just getting a draw spell, so we're not really going to have time to do that. Although, if I tap Jacob, whatever that we put underneath Jacob, we could cast that instead here. We'll see what we hit. Toxic Scorpion. Just spend 6 mana to play Toxic Scorpion? I don't think that's it. I don't think that's the plan. Trample on this Brambleworm is just a super bad deal. Cast Toxic Scorpion Diver Scab next turn, but we need to throw Brambleworm on the top to not die. That would flip the Werewolf, which means they couldn't recast it. That's actually pretty big. That's probably the line, which means we put anything else under Jacob Hawken, not the land though, because we're going Scab Scorpion. Or Scorpion Scab, either way, really. I'm gonna put the Sharpshooter there. Oh, they already double spelled, so we don't need to double spell if we want to flip Weaver. Still going to, though, because I don't want to sacrifice Jacob. I'd rather sacrifice the Toxic Scorpion, probably. To Diver Scab's ability. Although, I mean, we've got a draw 3 in hand now, so even if all this stuff gets exiled forever off of Jacob, we can kind of just deal with that. At 7 life, having a 1/1 Death Toucher instead of a 0/2 to help block, probably worth it. It's absolutely wild, but I'm going to sacrifice Jacob. Next turn we get to play an Ulvenwalkd Oddity and Inspired Idea to refuel. They put Brambleworm right back on top, but then we have 6 mana unless the other card in hand is mana. Alright, it is not. It is a Flourishing Hunter. We have Toxic Scorpion to block that. Draw 3. Land, Vilespawn, Spider. I'm sorry, Land, Vilespawn, Spider, and Apprentice Sharpshooter are the draws. We can play Spider, Sharpshooter here. Is that better than Oddity? Probably make the board wider, make more blockers, then we sack the Spider and make a boatload of blockers next turn. Yeah, I think I like that. And we're going for like a Witness the Future kill this game. Drawn to Witness the Future late game, shuffle our best 4 cards back in and just start casting fantastic things. This is terrifying. I really need to not mill Witness the Future off the Spider. I'm going to let the Spider mill 1 card. If it's anything but Witness the Future, I'm fine with it. Alright, Dormant Grove is the mill. Cool. So we're going to crack the Spider. It is sorcery speed only, so we just crack it right now and then play Ulvenwalkd Oddity. Flip the Oddity next turn and all these Spiders become 2/2s. They drawn to removal for Oddity, or they just eyeballing it? Howling Moon. Wolf or Werewolf gets +2/+2. If we cast a second spell, they get a 2/2. Alright. Buff a wolf each turn. Seems fine. A 5/4 trample. Alright, that kills our 3/5 then. I would love it if they just don't attack in much here. This is like their last opportunity to make a big attack because we can transform the Oddity later. Alright, they do realize that. They're just going to go in, it looks like. Go to 1 life if we do this. Go to 5 life if we do this. I think it's better to lose a single 1/4 than 4 1/1s if we're trying to gain more life here. Because these 4 1/1s are going to be 4 2/2s. The only problem is no defense against flyers, but they're green-red, so like there's so few flyers in green-red in this format. There's like a tiny bit in red and none in green. I don't remember any red flyers, to be honest, but there's got to be some. I feel like this is right. We don't want to go to 1 against a red deck. Flourishing Hunter. Oh, that is excellent. I don't think I have time to cast that right now. I think I need to buff everything first. 10 mana, so we're only doing one thing. Yeah, that's going to be an 8/8 on blocks, so they just cannot attack in. Yeah, let's just flip the Oddity. Play Hunter next turn and gain 8 life. Flourishing Hunter, gain 8. Probably start attacking with the 7/7 Flourishing Hunter. Next turn, I probably should have just done it right there because it does give trample and haste. For some reason it looked summoning sick to me. Probably because it was showing the ability animation. Yeah, we missed a good attack with it there because now it just dies to a Toxic Scorpion. Still hits them, but they're at 38, so definitely not as good of an attack this turn. Should have sent that in last turn for sure. That's Death Touch, but not Trample. Sure, go for it. Goodbye, Flourishing Hunter. So we have Witness the Future still in the deck. By far our biggest draw. We do have Hiveheart Shaman, that would be pretty big with all these lands. Vile Spawn Spider would be good. And then we have like Ruler Recruit and Foreboding Statue. Those are both very medium. Kind of just all in on the Witness the Future as the closer. To cast a non-creature spell does 2 to each opponent. That's actually kind of big here. Away from the damage us without having to attack in. They kill 4 of these. Three of these. Statue does turn into a 6/6 eventually, but I need to be wide against this Ravager that can shoot over my face. I'd rather them kill 3 of my creatures than 4. Another Flourishing Hunter. There's Hiveheart Shaman. Which is actually just excellent here. It's an extra creature every turn for sure, and a big one at that. That starts giving us enough creatures to try to close this game out. We have plenty of turns. We don't have 6. We have more than that with Witness the Future. And we're going to put our best cards engraved back into our library. Diver Scab and some stuff. Helena and Helena. That's very bad. One of their creatures gets 2+ and some counters during their combat each turn. And haste. This is just a ridiculous board state altogether, all over the board. Lose all these creatures if I do this block. But that is their biggest attacker gone. Oh, I'm gonna die to them just going wide with Helena here. I just can't lose the Behemoth or the Shaman. And that's the only other way to kill that. Only way to kill that without losing those. 14 mana is enough to make 2 4/4s here. Is that better than just casting Witness the Future right now? Yeah, I make 2 4/4s, or I make 1 4/4 and Witness the Future. I feel like I make 2 of these things. And they like super beef that thing up, then I block it with 2 4/4s. I don't know, they spread it out a little bit there. And they pass turn. Alright, so Rural Recruit. This is better than 2 4/4s, so we'll cast this. And then I can make 1 4/4 and I can Witness the Future here. Wolf Strike for sure. Kill Helena and Helena. Nothing that mills ourselves, that's for sure. Flourishing Hunter, yes. Vilespawn Spider, sure I get a bunch of 1/1s, but I mill myself? Actually I don't, because I play it has haste and I spit out a bunch of hasty 2/2s. Actually yes, Vilespawn Spider. And then also Flourishing Hunter number 2. Oh, I gave them another wolf, that's fine. Alright. I double spelled there, gave them another wolf. It's a minor problem here. Vilespawn Spider's actually just, with Ulvenwalkd Behemoth giving my whole field haste, actually just probably our best draw. I think we've gotten to the point where our opponent just can't crack back in again. Alright, we did draw Wolf Strike. I need to make sure to do that during their turn and not ours, so that I don't give them another 2/2. 8 mana left here. We make 1 more 4/4, or we cast Wolf Strike once. Rather cast Wolf Strike. Six turns to find lethal somehow. My god, this is stressful. We're at 21 life now. They have 2 6 toughness creatures, unfortunately. Could attack with Flourishing Hunter now, though. If we just kill one of their creatures, that whittles it down for when we make the million creatures later. But I don't think we're attacking with 4/4s yet because they just died to the 6/6s. I mean, how much do I need to leave back here, realistically speaking? Probably like 5 good blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could attack with this pile. But then again, like I lose this creature for nothing. I lose this creature for nothing. This maybe trades off. This maybe trades off. I deal 7. I feel like I just attack with Flourishing Hunter. Sure, I'm only killing like one of their creatures here, but again, that adds up to an exponential amount of damage because that one creature could be blocking multiple times later, potentially. So I guess, I mean, our whole board has trample as well, so we just need to do the math and count how much toughness they have and how much power we have. Again, I think it's literally just like draw Vile Spawn Spider, have immediate lethal. But we need to have 35 more power than they have. Okay, well, so there's Vile Spawn Spider. I don't know if it's immediate lethal. 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, plus 6, 17, 18, 19 plus 3. 19 plus 3 is 22. We have 8 plus 4, 12, plus 20, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 47, 47 plus 14, 47 plus 14, 57, 60, 61, 61 minus, I need to subtract this again, 61 minus 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13, 19, 22, 67 minus 22, that's lethal, right? I'm pretty sure this is lethal. Watch they just fog me. Yeah, like 67 minus like 22, something like that. That's like 40 something. Math is for blockers. Math is for blockers, this is enough. I'm gonna be so embarrassed when they survive with like 1 life here. Okay, yeah, that's well over enough. Oh my god. Alright then. Ulvenwalkd Oddity takes another one. That is 3-0. Again, this is not my kind of deck, not my cup of tea here. Having to do just massive board state math on attacks and blocks. Absolutely absurd stuff. We do have a lot of just big, ridiculous bombs in this deck, though, so I guess that's anybody's kind of deck, so I'll take it. 3-0 now as we head into round 4. See where we go from here. Very stressful match there. And quite the long one as well. These last couple games have been. I may need to cut the recording session a bit early. I am going to have to shower, get ready for the work in 20-30 minutes. I am not sure I can complete the whole event at this rate in that time span, so this will probably be a couple recording sessions edited together. But I will play one more game before I head off for the first recording session. Well, turn 2 Vile Spawn Spider, turn 3 Crawling Infestation, just start completely milling ourselves. We've got the Witness the Future in our hand, though, to be safe. So I like it. Opponent on mono white thus far, they start with Twin Blade Geist. 1/1 double striker, they can throw the aura to give double strike onto something once it's in the graveyard for 3 mana. The mill has begun. Send in with the Vile Spawn Spider. If they use some kind of combat trick to defeat my spider, I still get a insect from Crawling Infestation. And if they chump block, I'm just happy with that. We'll get that out of the way. I guess they do get to throw Double Strike onto something else now, but not super worried about that. I wish this went on in a different order. I don't know how, but there should be a way where you get to choose what order they go off. I really want the May ability to be after Vile Spawn Spiders, because if Vile Spawn Spider mills a creature, then I don't have a reason to mill myself more. So I wish they were a different order. Yeah, like, see there, the first card I milled was a creature, so ideally I would have just used Vile Spawn Spider's ability, and not also the Crawling Infestation. So let me go to gameplay. Okay, do not auto-order triggered abilities. Alright, I found the option in gameplay, so we'll have that set up for the future. So I have Spider to block the Heron. If they don't, just give it Double Strike. If they do, we're just going to crack back at them pretty hard. Don't really think I want to witness the future here until later. Just play our Scab next turn and really get them if they throw the Double Strike onto the Heron. We are going to 2-for-1 them there, kill the Heron and the Double Strike aura. Or at least, you know, temporarily slow down the Heron and get rid of the Double Strike aura. So yeah, we'll take all this damage. If they give it lifelink here, they are going to be at about 1,000,000 life. So I suppose that is pretty big. They gain 6. Alright, no Double Strike. Playing something for 2 mana here, potentially? No. Alright, so that's what we want. So now the Vile Spawn Spider triggers first, where we have to mill. If it mills a creature, then we'll be like, no, I don't want to mill 2 cards. So there we go. That's why we want it to not auto-order that stuff. So here's Diver Scab. Get rid of that Heron of Hope. I don't believe that there's any untapped combat tricks, but it has been a little while since I played this format. Just been very busy with work, so just in case I forgot, we're going to do this pre-combat in case they have any way to untap this Heron when we try to attack in. Anything weird like that. So that was a pretty excellent deal. We throw the Heron on the bottom of their library, and the aura is just permanently exiled. Fierce Retribution, kill the Vile Spawn Spider. Sure enough. So they have 4 cards in hand. We have a couple creatures on board. They have just a Heron Blessed Geist now. Milled another Vile Spawn Spider, so that's another 1/1 for us. And we'll slam down a 6/6 here. Keep attacking in. Next turn, if we still don't have anything to do at that point, I'll crack Witness the Future, because we do get to shuffle 4 real cards back into the deck, 2 Spiders, a Rower Recruit, and a Flourishing Hunter. I just don't want to like shuffle 4 lands back in, or anything like that with the Witness the Future. Alright, yeah, we're going to cast it here. What could we hit pre-combat? We could hit our 4/4 Trample Haste. So we'll do this pre-combat. 4 mana 4/4 Trample Haste here. Could be something I want to just immediately cast. Wolf Strike does make me feel nice and safe, but Jacob's very powerful and Dormant Grove is also very powerful. And gives our board Vigilance, which is pretty big. And we could do that pre-combat. Maybe I should take Wolf Strike, but I'm going to play it a little bold here and just take Dormant Grove. Now we've got Vigilance going on. And another 3/6 on the board. Which is pretty massive. They have hit their second color. I was curious there. It was looking like they might just be mono white, but looks like they were just hosed on the second color for a long time this game. They do hit it now for Bloodcrazed Socialite. 3/3 Menace, and they have a Blood Token to crack now, and they will crack it. Kaya in the hand. Not really good without any tokens on the board, so that is why they go ahead and just discard that. Keep milling with the Infestation. Draw 3 on Inspired Idea here. See if we hit anything castable. Oh yeah, Hiveheart Shaman and Retrieve. These are both massive. Retrieve, still don't want to do it yet, but Hiveheart Shaman is going to be great. Attack everybody. I'm cool losing a 1-1 to crack in for well over lethal here. Attacking for like 15 damage if they block a 1-1. There's Hiveheart Shaman, and we'll see what they've got here down at 2 life. Another Swamp for Courier Bats. 1 card in hand. This is going to be well over lethal here. And there is the concession from our opponent. So that is 4-0 for today's draft deck. That is unfortunately going to have to end the recording session for me today. I have not decided yet if I am going to finish off this draft and then edit the 2 together, because it is going to be another couple days before I have time to record again. So I think I'm just gonna upload a kind of a half-baked draft here for you all, so my apologies about that, but I, again, just have been very busy lately. But I'm going to assume this deck, well, we know it's at least the 4-3, but this deck is absolutely sick. It brought us all the way into Mythic 323 again after decaying the ranks down to Mythic 1000 from not playing for like a week or so, so super happy with this deck's performance. We'll show off another look at the deck here before I head off for the night, but I do have to get ready for that overnight work shift as always. So here's another look at the deck. Just massive rares being the biggest aspect, but we do have some of the fun combos for a self-mill strategy as well. 2 Vile Spawn Spider and a Crawling Infestation for the self-mill cards that will throw a bunch of creatures into the graveyard and then give you some creatures in response to those creatures hitting the bin. And then we have Witness the Future and Retrieve being the great draw spells for us later in the game after we've milled ourselves a ton. So as we saw in Game 3, Witness the Future was absolutely huge there. And this is definitely the deck for that kind of card. Scattered Thoughts is a massive card when you're a deck chocked full of incredibly powerful cards like Ulvenwalkd Oddity, Jacob Hawken, and even just the 6-mana 6/6 Flourishing Hunters. So overall, pretty great deck here. Very happy with how it has performed, and that is 4-0 to start off today's draft. So if you have made it to the end of the video, as always, I would like to thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more Magic Arena videos, specifically a lot of drafts and sealed, you're at the right place. Just stick around on the channel. And yeah, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again for some more Magic Arena very soon.